Hello and welcome. My name is Steve Friedman, and I am a proud parent, author, and advocate for the Down syndrome community. And I wanted to talk to you today about our road trips and our theme of expecting the unexpected. Earlier this year, we published the Essential Guide for Families with Down Syndrome. We thought it was basically the culmination of our daughter Gwendolyn's independence path over the last many years, culminating a couple of years ago with her move into independent living. What we've discovered since then is that the independence journey is always continuing, and there's always things that she learns and that we learn. We've been so fortunate to be able to share our learnings through our book and through our independent workshops that we've been sharing around the country. Few things that we've learned along the way is certainly to expect the unexpected, never to underestimate our daughter or the community in general. Since our publication of the Essential Guide in February, we've definitely experienced this in many ways. First, a great reception to the book, which is heartwarming. We've spent a lot of time and effort and tried to pull as many resources together as possible so that families don't have to start over when they're looking for resources, information, and options about their own independence journey. Secondly, we've had such incredible support and engagement. Last spring, we went to many conventions. We went to Down Syndrome Associations as part of our Midwest Roadshow, and it was just fantastic to see the crowds and, more importantly, the questions that came from the crowds and the opportunity for us to share information throughout the room that I think helped many families get a better direction for their own independence plan. I found that there's been about 5 areas of focus, what I call light bulb moments, in our roadshows so far. And I call them light bulb moments because you could kind of see as we were having discussions that many people in the room were like, I didn't realize that, or that's a great reminder, or I never knew how to find that information and now I do. And so those are truly heartwarming moments, and I think that makes a difference for them. The 5 light bulb moments we've seen so far are: 1, financial benefits, wills, and trusts. Very complicated area, a lot of information out there. Generally, most families are missing at least one aspect of their financial benefits that are available to them, and in some cases, several of them. Many families don't have wills or aren't prepared with a special needs trust yet. So when we start to talk about that, I think families realize that it's really critical, it's important, it's a lot of money that's potentially due their family that can make a big difference in the family's life and certainly in their self-advocate's life. And so that's really an important area, not only to be able to acquire the benefits that are due them, but also to be able to maintain them by knowing the rules and not violating any of the guidelines that are in place for each of the different benefits. Second area is guardianship and alternatives. This is an important area, certainly at the age of 18 when our loved ones become adults in the eyes of the law. And so many families had not really thought about it or just didn't want to think about it, but making a conscious decision is critical. Guardianship is not your only choice. There's power of attorney, there's supported decision making in some states, but the important thing is to evaluate those options and make a conscious decision on behalf of your family. And so we had a lot of conversations about that. Third area was day programming. So the realization, especially when, as many families call it, falling off the cliff after high school is complete, usually between the ages of 18 and 22, depending on where you are and your family choices, suddenly your loved one is at home and can be home all day. And many of them will regress and lose some of the skills that they worked so hard to attain. And so we talked a lot in the workshops about what are the options for day programs, whether that's through the home and the family or a structured program for a day or two or more along with work. That was an interesting process because many families recognized that they really needed to do some work in this area in order to support their self-advocates' growth and aspirations. Fourth area was transportation. And this is quite interesting and probably varies a bit by family depending on where you live, but many families recognize that transportation was and may continue to be a challenge. Perhaps they were tired of being the taxi service for their kids for 18 to 20 or 30 years and were looking for some mechanism, whether it was public transportation or some other way to get their child from home to a day program, to work, to other social events. And so some areas have a pretty vibrant transportation system, but many do not. And so we had lots of conversations about what are the alternatives in that area in order to kind of free up the opportunities that are available to their loved ones. And the fifth was housing. And we've talked a lot about housing in these workshops, independent housing of some sort for their loved one. Many families, and we can certainly relate, have a sense of shame or embarrassment about thinking about their loved one not living with them. This is an expectation that many of us had when they were born. However, we recognized that for our daughter Gwendolyn, she would only really grow to her potential like her brother and sister if she lives out from under the protective umbrella of the family. We also recognize that today, people with Down syndrome are living much longer, twice as long as the expected lifespan back in the 80s. And so they're outliving their parents oftentimes and their caregivers. So the question of where do they go after they live in family housing is something that has become more critical these days. There are certainly options, whether it's other family, siblings, aunts and uncles, and so forth. And there's many other new options that are coming on the market as far as group homes, independent living facilities, apartment arrangements. And so we spent a lot of time talking about what are those options, what are the pros and cons, how do you find them in your area, and what do they cost, and so forth. And so that was also an area that many families walked away saying, this is possible for me. I never thought it was. And now I have an idea of how to move forward and figure those things out. I will say the silver lining to this whole process of going on a road trip for me was that it became a family affair. Gwendolyn comes with us as well as my wife Jennifer. They both share their perspective. They answer questions from other self-advocates and other families in the room. I think it continues to spark new ideas. So we're excited to be back on the road here this fall. In September, we're doing our Dixieland tour through the South. In October, we'll be in Central Florida on our Sunshine Tour. So we have many locations lined up. Check our website for locations that might be near you. And we're starting to plan workshops for 2024 as well. So we're excited to come visit you and invite you to our engaging workshops. Please join the wave and expect the unexpected. If you're interested, you can contact me at beyonddownsyndrome@gmail.com. You can find out more on our website, beyonddownsyndrome.net. There you can find out where we're going to be, what our next stops are, as well as we have weekly blogs, quizzes, webinars, podcasts, and of course the Essential Guide for Families with Down Syndrome available for your purchase. But there's lots of information that's free, so I would encourage you to check out our website, and hopefully we'll see you on the road sometime soon. Be sure to continue to expect the unexpected. Thanks.